So, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and friends, we've now come to the last topic of today, and let me please introduce it. The topic number 4 is technological innovation and the digital economy. What impact on social security and its administration? We just have heard some reflections about the opportunities that it brings about. So digitalization and technological innovation are transforming the way in which we live, we work, and we interact. This also signals a new era for social security institutions, enabling them to improve performance, coverage, and tailoring services to individual needs. The speed of technological innovation coupled with implementation risk and costs brings immense challenges as well. New models of communication, information, and interaction revolutionize public expectations. And while automatization and artificial intelligence promises to boost productivity and quality, new strategic approaches to human resources will be required. I would like to divide the discussion of this topic of technological innovation into 2 parts. The first part will focus on the internal challenges, so the internal issues related to Social Security administration and the risks and the opportunities that arise with this new technological development. So how can we prepare our organizations to successfully adapt to these developments? And then in the second part, we will take a closer look into how the digital economy impacts on our social security systems more broadly. Also for this topic, we have distinguished and experienced panel for our exchanges, and please join me in welcoming Ms. Al-Shamsi, Acting General Director of the Public Authority for Social Security Insurance of Oman, Ms. Ross, Senior Advisor at the Office of the Commissioner of the Social Security Administration of the United States of America, and last but not least, Mr. Breuer, Director General of the German Social Excellence Insurance. May I hear a lot of applause for our last panel, please? Thank you. So, you have to share 2 tables and find your positions. Let us, as mentioned, start with a discussion on the impact of technological innovation and digitalization in our institutions and the way we do business as social security administrations. So my question to Ms. Al-Shamsi: strategic approaches to human resources of social security administrations are of high importance. So my question is, what are, in your view, the key challenges for human resources strategies in times of digitalization? Will there still be a need for the human touch in a digital world? Please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here this afternoon to share my views on the subject. No doubt that we live in a very fast-changing world where the technology is affecting every aspect of our lives. Whether at home or office, it provides us with a safe, comfortable living and a work environment and allow us to perform our tasks much faster and with almost total accuracy, allowing us to produce more and provide better services to our clients. It also provides us with the flexibility to perform the tasks from the comfort of our homes or while watching our kids play on the beach without the tension of feeling that we are being monitored by a controlling boss that watches every single move we take. This way of doing work seems more appealing to the younger generation that are dominating the labor market worldwide. The millennials are characterized as being very high-tech, and they place a great value on the work balance that the high-tech environment is capable of providing in the form of a virtual workplace. So our organization should react to such changes and align its strategies and activities to this new market, making sure to keep this is personal, so as not to completely isolate the employees from the vision, mission, policies, and ultimately the organization as a whole, in order not to dehumanize the work environment. The basic challenge of HR professional is to utilize the positive potentials of digitalization, therefore, while reducing the downsides of going digital. The increased number of people choosing to go virtual has its challenges, and I think this is the main concern of government and international organizations such as ESA. As the non-conventional type of employment that is replacing the traditional form of employee-employer relationship brings insecurity. These worries are legitimate of how can we assure that the virtual organizations are providing safe, fair environment and whether people are being compensated fairly or not. For the social security organizations, the concern is in the continuous flow of contribution and making sure that social security coverage is provided. The other challenge is that automation has led to some workforce cutting, but in most cases, I believe the employees have been redeployed. In the case of PASI, we managed to automate most of our processes, and we went online with most of our services. That resulted in reduction, of course, of the staff in some areas, but we managed to rotate the staff and make use of their experiences and talents somewhere else. And yes, some conventional job will become obsolete in the age of information, but it will be replaced by new jobs. Many jobs that we see around today didn't exist a decade ago, like application developer, risk managers, BC experts, web designers, social media managers, information security, and big data analysts, and so forth. So yes, technology did diminish some conventional jobs, but it also created more jobs, I think. Another thing is that computers cannot work without human brain. They still need to be programmed and given instruction to perform tasks, which means that the human brain is still the ultimate computer. Furthermore, the computer cannot measure with us human beings to sense love and care. Working from behind the screen also takes a part of our invisible message that came when we speak face to face. We miss the voice tone, the facial expression, the body language that says more than what words could say. So while digitalization may save time and money, but we are missing out of the opportunity to make a memorable impression and form a more authentic connection, a connection that may lead to long-term gains. You cannot fax a handshake, as they say. In today's digital world, while you can understand much about a person or an organization from their profile, online, it is still difficult to engage and interact with them virtually. Thus, the importance of investing time to meet someone in person builds a greater understanding and stronger and more productive relationship, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Ms. Al-Shamsi. So now I'll go on to Ms. Ross and talk about service quality. New ICT platforms and solutions have already revolutionized the relations between social security administrations and its stakeholders and will continue doing so in the future. What are your main innovations to achieve high service quality in view of evolving client expectations, behaviors, and technological innovations? Ms. Ross, please.
Thank you, and thank you, Secretary General Konkolevsky, for inviting me to speak today on behalf of our Acting Commissioner, Carolyn Colvin. I'm Jane Ross, the Acting Commissioner's Senior Policy Advisor, and I'm very pleased to be with you. My focus is on innovation, and in particular, some of the recent technological and service delivery innovations we've made in the United States. Like many of the other agencies present at the forum today, we have found that being innovative in how we deliver our services and programs can help us meet our commitment to maintain world-class service for our beneficiaries. I'm going to briefly highlight 3 innovations that have helped us to improve our service delivery in recent years: online services, electronic health records, and modernizing the computer systems we use to process disability cases. Now, on the first one, expanding online services. Expanding online services available to our customers has had a big impact on the agency and our customers and beneficiaries. In 2012, we introduced My Social Security. It's an online portal available to people across the country. And while still relatively new, My Social Security has proven to be extremely valuable to both our customers and our agencies. Workers now have an immediate online access to their own earnings records and personalized estimates of their future benefits, so they can do that themselves. And beneficiaries can now perform many routine transactions on their own that previously required a phone call or a visit to a field office, such as changing their address or phone number or requesting a benefit verification letter. In just 4 years, about 27 million people have registered for a My Social Security account and have conducted over 300 million transactions. We've also launched a separate initiative called SSA Express, which provides self-help computers in more than 800 Social Security offices, so people can go to their local Social Security field office and do their work if they don't have a computer at home. And I bet they actually get a lot of extra help if they go to the Social Security office. Customers in these offices can use the self-help computers instead of waiting to see a Social Security employee. And as I said, if they end up needing additional help, an employee will provide the support as needed. Last year, our customers completed over 350,000 transactions on the self-help computers. That's a lot of time that our field office workers weren't needing to do it. We also partner with local community organizations such as other government agencies, retirement homes, and libraries to provide a shortcut to our internet site on their existing public computers. We currently have 767 partner sites, and last year our customers conducted about 94,000 transactions there. We're committed to providing world-class service to our beneficiaries and customers in the method that they choose, whether it's in person at our field offices, by phone, or online. These innovations in our online service allow us to serve customers more efficiently and quickly, which is useful for both them and us. Now, the second innovation has to do with health IT. I want to highlight that this is our expansion into health information technology, which means access to and use of electronic health records. Now, for doing a disability determination in our Social Security system, you need a lot of medical documentation, and that's essential as I said, as we evaluate these disability claims. We request about 15 million medical records each year in order to make about 2.7 million initial disability determinations. Our Health IT initiative allows participating healthcare organizations to share medical documentation with us electronically using a secure and fully automated process. This lets us request and receive medical records in a matter of minutes rather than weeks using traditional methods. Electronic medical records can also make it easier for us to use automated decision support logic, which means making faster and more accurate decisions. We currently receive electronic health records from 54 organizations representing over 7,000 healthcare providers. We are seeing large benefits from Health IT, primarily because it reduces processing time for disability claims. And as we all know, the people who come to claim for disability have usually been waiting a long time to get to the point where they thought, yes, they were going to have to claim. So we're glad that we can accelerate that process. Cases with some Health IT and some regular evidence process 10% faster than cases with no medical records from a Health IT source. So we're making things a good deal quicker. As a result, our beneficiaries have faster access to their monthly cash benefits, earlier enrollment in related health programs, and potentially better outcomes. And here is the third final innovation, modernizing and centralizing our disability case processing system. That doesn't sound very exciting, does it? But the third innovation is one that relates to our larger health IT initiative, and it's our move to modernize and centralize our disability case processing system. In the United States, the disability agencies that make medical determinations are run separately by each of the 50 states. So we have 50 separate agencies with which we're dealing. Each year, these state agencies process roughly 4 million cases, including initial claims, reconsiderations when a claim was originally denied, and continuing disability reviews that are done to make sure the beneficiaries still meet the strict definition of the law. This new processing system will replace these outdated and separate systems with a single, modern, and secure cloud-based application that can provide the flexibility and high performance that the state and federal agencies need to process disability claims timely and efficiently. I'll wrap up by emphasizing that these projects and others have helped us make remarkable strides in service delivery over the past few years. In fact, many other U.S. government agencies have adopted our models. That always makes you feel really good. However, there are a lot of challenges that remain. As we told you, the volume here is tremendous, and one has to continue to keep up with the newest technology, but we're confident that we're on a path to continue to advance on how we deliver our services. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ross. Thank you. And now I'll turn to Mr. Breuer. We talk a bit about the world of work that is changing dramatically, in particular due to technological innovation and digitalization. Positively, the technological development has contributed to a considerable reduction in the number of work accidents, disability cases, and related compensation payments. On the other hand, we're witnessing a strong increase in the work-related health problems, in particular chronic diseases. So my question to Mr. Breuer is, how has the changing nature of safety and health risks at work influenced the prevention strategies and programs of your organizations? And how has the fact that many of the new health risks can have both work and non-work related causes been reflected in this context?
Thanks, Mr. Secretary General. At least you have posed 2 questions for 5 minutes, and I tried to answer these 2 questions by using 2 different languages. So prepare your headphones. I will switch to German later on during that 5 minutes. I'm representing an organization that is responsible for prevention at least since 130 years, a monopoly covering 75 million people in a population of 82. So aren't we the one who know everything about that, what is going on in the country, in the industry, in the digitalized new world? In some way, yes, but that doesn't happen by random. It is done by hard work and is done by a permanent kind of innovation of the work. And to give you 2 examples what that means, I will start with the word risk observatory. What does that mean? If you see the big 10 trends in the new world, you know nothing about that, what is really going on the ground, in the companies. And to know that, we have a kind of a permanent survey that we get information for the more than 500,000 of people being responsible for work safety on the ground, to get the information, what is going on in the big fabrics or in the small craft factories. Do they work with robots? Are they using 3D printers, and what are the new challenges with it? And by using that kind of risk observatory, we know more or less day to day how the process on the ground is going forward and what are the real new challenges, not only the very abstract ones. And by using that method with the risk observatory, we are going down to the ground, and to the ground that means at least looking for the relationship between machine and human being. And that means, on the other hand, we are looking for the algorithms. In the future, it is not only important to look if a machine is safe, if people's behavior is correct. No, we need to know if the machine from the beginning on is constructed that way that it is programmed that it can't hurt a human being. This is going down to the algorithm, and we are going also down to the algorithm of the people to try to seed it into their mind that prevention is a permanent factor, and we are doing that by starting a huge campaign that will run for 10 years. It's called Culture of Prevention, but at least the content is bringing prevention to the daily life. And daily life is also to switch the language for me. So if you have prepared your headphones, I will now switch to German. Ist es wirklich so, dass wir in einer neuen Welt nur noch mentale Herausforderungen haben, dass wir plötzlich nicht mehr trennen können zwischen den Belastungen der Arbeitswelt und den Belastungen der Freizeit? In einer Beziehung ist es so, ja, weil Arbeit und Freizeit miteinander verschmelzen. Sie haben gerade eine E-Mail geschrieben nach Hause. Das ist Freizeit. Aber Sie haben gerade eine E-Mail an Ihr Büro geschrieben, dass noch etwas zu erledigen ist. Das ist Arbeit. Und das geht ineinander über. Wie reagieren wir darauf? Mit der gleichen Zielrichtung wie mit der Kampagne zur Kultur der Prävention. Wir versuchen, Prävention aus allen Lebensbereichen zu vernetzen. In Deutschland gibt es seit kurzer Zeit eine nationale Präventionskonferenz. Das heißt, eine Konferenz, an der alle Player aus dem gesamten Bereich der Sozialversicherung, des Staates zusammensitzen, um darüber zu sprechen, wo die Schwerpunkte der Prävention gemeinsam in der Zukunft liegen. Das ist abgestimmtes gemeinsames Handeln, um Prävention wirklich in das Bewusstsein der Menschen zu bringen. Wir nutzen dafür alle möglichen Wege, auch letzten Endes die Auswertung von Big Data, um neue Risiken frühzeitig zu erkennen und um vor allen Dingen rechtzeitig einzuschreiten und auch um rechtzeitig exakt aufzuhören. Herzlichen Dank.
Vielen Dank, Herr Breuer. As I told you, we have two parts in this session, and I would like to take the more broader view on the impact of the digital economy on social security. And to illustrate some of the changes that are underway, let us watch again a short video which has been produced by the World Economic Forum about what they call the fourth industrial revolution. So maybe see the video, please. You can see that. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the world of work and our economies are changing, the question that is asked in the video is an important one. How do we avoid a world of joblessness, low productivity, and inequality? While Social Security undoubtedly will have to be part of the answer, it's also deeply affected by the impact of these changes on its financial base and relations to the world of work. So I will turn again to Ms. Al-Shamsi with a question. Will the technological development and the digitalization lead to important reduction in staff in Social Security administration, or will it allow us to focus more on providing better, preventive, people-centered services? You have been touching upon that already, but you might like to expand a bit more.
Yes. See, I don't want to sound like a dreamer or unrealistic, but I honestly believe that technology could create more jobs than it diminishes. But we as strategic makers, we need to change our strategies. We need to keep pace with the change of technology. The change is going very fast, and we need to keep pace with that. I honestly believe that the computer does not have what we as a human have. It's the imagination, and our imagination is what brought all this here today. And I think with our imagination, we could close our eyes and picture the future and program these computers to take us there. And it will take us there in a very fast and efficient way. The computers would take from us, and as it has been taking from us, the dirty, the tedious, the boring, and the most dangerous jobs, allowing us to concentrate more on the things that are important to us, on our passion, and on producing better services to our human kind. I believe there are still shortages of some jobs, especially the health sector. We have serious shortage of medical staff. We still have a shortage in some sectors like education. And by changing our strategies and by being proactive, I think we can have the computer help us to create more jobs. So yes, the computer will take some jobs from us, but I think it will allow us to concentrate more on the things that we're more passionate about, and that's serving our mankind.
Thank you very much
Most
indeed.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well spoken.
Thank you.
Coming back to Mr. Breuer and work injury insurance systems. These have been built in the industrial era based on traditional labor relations and financing through contribution payments by employers. Is this concept, in your view, sustainable in a digital world?
Thank you that you're not playing This Is the End from The Who in the background here, because it sounds on the first moment that work injury systems will not have a future in a digitalized world. But if you look a little bit deeper into, you know that the answer will be the total opposite of it. I'm absolutely convinced that especially the work injury systems have a bright and very important future. One reason for that is that what Ms. Al-Shamsi has mentioned. We are talking, and that's absolutely correct, about the changes that will happen very dramatically in the digitalized world. But we should not forget, we will not have 100% digitalized world on all different areas on our daily living. Don't forget, even nowadays, the old risks like dust and noise and so on are the most important one. And in the future, we will have the chance to decrease it. But the analog world will survive for a long, long time. So it would be a big mistake only to focus on the digitalized world. But on the other side, it would be also totally wrong to ignore the digitalized process, because it's coming, as mentioned, from the World Economic Forum very quick, very fast, and it is more than a revolution. But even focusing on that, I think the work injury systems in the world are the right place to handle that change in the industry. Because if you make a little step backwards on the whole picture, what are we at least covering in the work injury system? Of course, you would say people. Yes, we are covering people. But if you do a step backwards again, then you see we are covering people who are doing something. That means who are working. And keeping that picture in mind, you see that you can handle the new challenges in the digitalized world. Of course, we will have the discussion in the future, who will be a worker? You mentioned Uber some minutes or an hour ago. If you take the example of Uber, Uber itself says, I'm not an employer, I'm a platform. The customer who's calling for a car says, I'm not an employer, and of course not an employee of Uber. The one who drives the customer says, hey, I'm not an employer, I'm only the one who is delivering the service. So you don't have an employer, you don't have an employee. So there's someone missing. And is that a danger for the work injury system? At least no. Think of this step backwards. All these people are doing some productivity, they are doing some product kind of work. And the solution for that could be, in the near future, and we need to discuss that, to define the words employer and employee in some way, in a new way, and protect those people who are productive,
Exactly.
whatever they are, employers or employees. But there's one last thing that is missing, and who pays the bill? And even there are several ways of solution. You can do it the Swiss way. The SUVA has sent to Uber a contribution bill and says, hey, Uber, you are an employer. That could be one way, I don't know if it's the right way, to try the solution at a court or better in the parliament, but I think it's a good start. And you can do it the Indonesian way, because the Indonesians, they have a special platform like Uber, but for bike rides. And what they have done is that a special percentage of that, what the customer paid to the one who's riding the motorbike, goes to the Social Security. So it's a kind of a productivity fee. I could go longer on that, but I don't want to give a presentation about the future. I only want to tell you, even in 10 years, the General Assemblies of ISA and the Technical Commission on Work Accident will not sit there and steering to the ceiling and say, nothing to do. No, we will have hard work, a lot of things to change, and we will be even more important than we are in the moment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Breuer. Thank you. So, reflecting on the impact of technology, reflecting on what it means within your organization, but in particular also what's happening around yourself. So the services are offered to a new economy, a digital economy, which is growing already and will, according to the projections, be growing fastly over the next 10, 20 years. So my question to all of you, including the panel, is the following. Do we need to reinvent social security systems within the next 5 to 10 years to meet the challenges posed by the digital economy? So once again, do we need to reinvent social security system within the next 5 to 10 years to meet the challenges posed by the digital economy? So, those of you who believe, yes, we have to reinvent social security systems to meet the challenges, please raise your hand now. Thank you very much. And those of you who believe, no, there's no need to reinvent social security to meet the challenges, please raise your hand now. Ah, that's not a, no, we have a yes or a no, Shane. Yes or no? That's it. Okay, so, and finally, who's not really sure about this thing yet, please? Also a few hands. Thank you for your honesty, because it's not an easy question, looking into the future. But there was a clear majority, huh, that there's a need to change. So that's interesting. Well, with this, ladies and gentlemen, let's thank our distinguished panel for their wise considerations and contributions. Thank you very, very, very much.